Well, hi, Marian.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Getting ready to watch the last episode of The Traitor tonight. I know you're looking forward to that too.
Oh, absolutely. I love the Traitors.
I do too. We got to get this over with quick and hopefully we'll do a good job of it. We're having to redo this recording. We recorded this right after AI Infrastructure Field Day and had some technical difficulties again. So we're going to get it right this time. And we're going to talk about AI Infrastructure Field Day. We both attended. Unfortunately, the ice storm had you grounded in Houston and you couldn't, I'm assuming Dallas, and you couldn't get out there.
How dare you
Oh my
call
gosh.
Fort Worth Houston or Dallas? We're where the West begins. Don't you know that?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
We're called Panther Town.
Called what town?
Panther Town.
Why is it Panther Town?
Because it used to be, there were Texas Panthers in the area.
Oh,
They called it Texas Panther City back in the West.
okay.
Yes. Mhm.
That's good to know. But I did really miss you. I thought we were finally going to get to be together again, but no,
Well, Mother Nature had other thoughts.
she did. She did. But we had a good time and you still got your thoughts across really great. So, AI Infrastructure Field Day focused on the realities of running AI in production across networking, storage, data platforms, operations, and silicon. This event examined what actually constrains enterprise AI adoption once experimentation ends. So some of the companies that were there were Cisco, Fabrics, AI, Hammerspace, Forward Networks, and Xsight Labs. And we
A
also had,
really good mix of new innovation and kind of old standbys.
which is what was interesting, I think, about the entire field day. It was the first time I feel like that I could see something happening. I could see people
Uh-huh.
are starting to get away from that hype and starting to be practical about how are we going to actually run this type of workload.
I especially enjoy the presentations where they show something new, and especially the presentations where you didn't have to rip out everything you currently own to actually come into the AI age. So those were very good.
That was good. And let's kind of get into this. So let's start with what was your favorite presentation?
Oh, by far, it was Forward Networks. I like the math. I like the digital twin aspect, all the things that you can do. I like the functionality. I like where it fit in the infrastructure, also where they imagine where it would go in your current operations, down upstream from the SOC and the NOC. What was your favorite?
Okay. So first of all, Solidigm. I have to give shout out to a storage company that's not just being a storage company. They're innovating. They're doing such great stuff. They're so involved in the open source world. The speaker, crazy good. Like, how can you not enjoy how he kind of connected modernization of storage to donuts, which I wouldn't have even ever thought of that, but he did it. I like that they brought Vast with them. I liked also that they talked about the standards that they're involved in and the standards that they're driving, because we have the same old storage going into something like an AI workload. It has to change. And then my other one that I loved was Xsight Labs. So Xsight Labs was just unreal. They were also really good
Yeah.
presenters. And you like them too?
Oh, I liked him and I liked the presenter. He was very energetic. That was a guy I really enjoyed. If I could be that comfortable in my own skin.
Oh, I know. He was great. But I had a post about it just the other day on LinkedIn about the whole idea that we have to start considering space as part of our infrastructure is crazy. And of course, Xsight is one of the networking companies that's on that. They're part of SpaceLink, the newest one, I think, right? That's
Mhm.
that's gone up. And what I wrote about earlier this week was about sovereign constellations with the different countries. Our own country, like $50 billion by the 2030 is what they're going to spend on getting our own sovereign constellation up. And of course, all the other countries are doing the same so that they can keep their spying data all within their important data that they get and compute within their own infrastructure that's in space. When you look at the market for what that's going, Xsight was really out, definitely leading the pack, but there's a pack of people getting up there and building infrastructure in space, and it looked crazy to me. Just not crazy bad, just big, just really big. So
It's going to be really big. And then all the complications that will come with that. and all the controls that are needed. We're still struggling with cross-border data here on Earth. So now we're talking intergalactic data.
Yeah. And if you look at what just got announced with Rubio saying that he wants everyone saying it's bad for everybody if you don't allow Americans to process your data, even if you've got laws like GDPR that protect your citizens. So yeah, you talk about that governance.
Oh, well, yeah. I won't talk about that since we're focused on Tech Field Day, but I think the whole Pentagon versus Anthropic and XGrok, that will set a new standard if that really goes the way it's going. And we're finally going to find out, is AI governance really a thing? Or once your company says you are unpatriotic in how you run your country, how you run your company with your controls, we're going to see, is it going to be about your biggest customer? Is it going to set your AI governance, or is it going to be about national sovereignty and a few other things? But
it's going to
that
be
would mean bigger investments, right? And we would have to continue to be on the edge of everything AI.
Yeah.
And have we done that so far?
Well, no, we have not. Okay. Let's get back to AI Field Day, because you know me, I'll talk in circles about everything. Right.
Right. But
So, what's that?
You want to talk about faithful and traitors. That's your use case. Yeah. Those AI governance controls, and if the Pentagon sets them versus Anthropic, it really is.
Oh, that's a good segue to Traitors. All right. I love it. All right. So let's see. What else are we? So what was your aha moment? You were just
My
talking.
aha moment is actually in the Cisco presentation, as they ran through their presentation, showing all the great technical things, all the great features that they have, their GPUs. They were really focused on the tech part. Their storytelling, however, as I sat there and listened to them, they actually had some really good governance controls in there that they just didn't talk about. Some of their messaging was a little bit confusing, but even through all of that, you could see that they had actually thought about governance and traceability and how you would actually present information to regulators. So that was the first article that I wrote, and I released it on Fat Tuesday.
Nice.
After a Mardi Gras kind of moment. And I called it, I think, governance Easter eggs within the Cisco data and networking presentation. How about you?
For me, I really like that Cisco presentation as well. And I actually wrote about that. I've written a few that haven't been published yet. It's definitely Xsight and some others. So hopefully they'll be published soon and I can stick them in the notes here. But I think one of my big aha moments might have been starting with Cisco. There's so much networking involved in AI. And they started Ethernet is what they're going to use to get this done. Mm-hmm. But Ethernet is lossy and you lose data, and you can't do that when you're training a model or building a model or asking questions of a model, right? So it just made me think about fiber channel storage. And that was the reason for not using Ethernet inside of SAN, is you wanted it to never, ever, ever drop a packet. So you never, ever lost data. So for me, it was just like, so is there going to be some sort of HBA? That's the host bus adapter, is what would connect the to a server. So is there going to be some type of HBA type of thing that improves Ethernet so it's not lossy, or is the GPU going to be that? That's kind of where I went crazy thinking it. But I think it's something to think about, because if we're going to use Ethernet, how are we going to build on top of Ethernet to make sure it can do HBAs used to do and not drop any packets?
So basically you're saying what's old is new again?
Yeah, I'm definitely saying that. I think if we get to a point where the infrastructure is getting very interesting again, but of course it's always all about developers, and was back the boring things, storage or transport or networking or goodness gracious, I definitely think watching over everything like you like to do, that might not be what's really appealing to someone coming out of college, and people don't teach this in college. So, who's gonna be the next gen storage folks? We go to the mainframe conferences and we look around and see people older than us still holding on, but you definitely see people in their 20s and 30s at those conferences.
Right.
We don't have big conferences anymore for the industry, for the infrastructure industry, because everybody believes it's just cloud. So I'm gonna change change? Are we going to see people get excited about the things we love that are kind of boring and invisible unless they break? So
But
that's
you
my
have a really good point. There was a couple presentations where they talked about having the AI pod and things moving back from the cloud.
yeah.
Uh, and so that was interesting to me. And from a governance standpoint, that actually fits with what we're talking about with cross-border data management and now intergalactic data
Yeah.
transfers. And so you would have to have that dedicated pod for those types of data that should not be transferred cross-border or heavily regulated.
Maybe that's how we get people hooked is with the space angle.
Maybe you're
Young
on
kids
something.
hooked on it, right? Maybe. So, okay, so what is your tea that you took from it?
So I think for me, I heard a lot of good governance stories buried in the tech. I think AI governance is becoming a thing now as we start to look at people's data. Trust is a big thing in how are you using my data? Where is my data? I want to be able to get back my data, almost impossible, but I want to be able to do those things. And so there were a lot of good governance controls, which was surprising to me. The presenters were really good. I didn't have to be a chip head to actually understand the solutions and the pain points that they were solving. I also enjoyed finding out more about the Futurum Group. I didn't know that they had research and a Forrester like subscription. So it was for me, it was an all around good conference. And I think the T for me is that just change management. It just feels like we're at a intersection where the industry is innovating faster than we can govern it. It's innovating faster than some of the old crowd can keep up with. And to your point, they're falling back on what's old is new is back again. And we're going to try to enhance it 30 to 50 years later. And then we're going to throw quantum on the top of it.
Well, then
Right.
quantum's going to be a whole reset. That's the real reset, probably, is going to be quantum. Yeah. So it was really like this field day a lot. It's the first time I felt positive about the industry coming back from it. I think that's good because you talk about governance and all the stuff we said up top about things our government is doing. How do you keep up with that? How do you keep up with that and protect a global business? And which laws do you adhere to? And it doesn't even have to be a big global business, even my business and your business. How do you advertise and keep things straight? And there's just so much going on. Governance is the word that we have to look for. But at the same time, I think it's really important not to be the naysayers all the time. It was really nice to come back from a field day with okay, people are getting it. We're actually getting some traction here to do real AI and do real good with this technology now. So I think we got to run with that too.
Yeah. And it was good to see, especially with Forward, that we're getting back to the basics. We're getting back to math to actually solve things. We're getting back to innovation in those traditional fields, those STEM fields.
Yeah.
Even with Xsight, I was really excited during their presentation. I think his level of energy that he had going on, as well as the technology, really kept me engaged the whole time. And he admitted, hey, a hardcore chip head. And I thought, oh, wow,
Yeah. He didn't
I
talk like that,
probably
did
he didn't. And the technology was so interesting that just it was just something you wanted to know more about. How do you use it? How do I implement it? Am I going to have to tear out everything I have? Is it going to have the governance, the storage, the GPUs? I think he really went in depth.
I did. I really came back feeling good about this. I thought everybody had something interesting to say. You could pull something interesting out of every presentation. And some of them, I think, really struck us, which that hasn't happened in a long time. There's been 2 or 3 that's been like, whoa. And so
Yeah.
I can't wait for the next one. The next one's going to be good too, I think.
Oh, I think so. I think they always bring interesting vendors. But this one was really quite good because there were so many intersections of tech, security, privacy,
Yeah.
AI, the hardware. And so it was a very good set of vendors and very good
They
event.
actually, yeah, they really have real things going on that we could really talk about,
Right.
right? And that are shipping and that they have thought through the market and how they're gonna, yeah. So I thought it was really good. I don't know if you saw, but in our internal field day Slack, we started a space channel. Yeah, because if I start looking at it from a product marketing perspective and you can see the numbers, it's getting too big. So yeah, something's going to come from this. I don't know when, but I want to at least talk about it.
Well,
So
I'll definitely have to check that out.
yeah,
But I'm not trying to get to space yet. I'm trying to get to
I
South
can't.
by Southwest if possible. I did see where there are a couple Tech Field Day delegates that will be there on the, I think one was on, she is actually doing something with podcasting on one of the
Oh,
stages. So that would be good.
I think
What about you?
we need to set up a call with her. That time's getting close. Yeah, I'm not getting a badge or anything, but I'm gonna do the typical Austin thing. I have a badge for the Capitol House. I looked at some of the Capitol House has turned into the military house. And so I'm a little bit, I got some question marks. There were saw 2 or 3 presentations that I really want to go to, but I'll probably do the typical Austin thing, which is go downtown and wander around and then be, oh my God, parking's too expensive and there's too many people down here, and take myself around.
So I would like to actually go to some of those military presentations, being not only being a military brat, but just out of curiosity also.
I
Very
might go.
interesting crowd, and especially the way things are moving forward in that space.
We gotta, it's just hard because there's so much hype around that as well. And
Mhm.
we know historically that a lot of the products we use every day, including the internet we're on right now, came from the military, came from military funding
Right.
and innovation. So you got to believe there's some stuff. It's just that there's so much hype around the military that wasn't there when I was, because I was come from that childhood and come from a big military town, and I don't ever remember the hype being this. So
Really?
not this. This is, unless I'm just seeing it funny. For me, it's just Department of War. People were proud of the military and people were proud to be in the military, but some of that was because of the discipline. A lot of that was the discipline. This is who we are. This is what we do. We prove it. And I think the hype goes awry from that.
So I think it's always, well, so let me preface this. I am an Air Force brat. My dad served at SAC and TAC bases and nuclear bases. So the talk of war is not anything new. I actually enjoy some of those veteran conversations. They're interesting to listen in on. They say things that you would just think, well,
You did what?
you know, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But so I would be interested in that for a lot of different reasons. And also that space is moving forward. I still think that military is strong. They do have the money, which
Yeah.
is very big differentiator in today's economy. And they have plans to go to space. They have a lot of different interesting things that will affect technology.
Yeah, and we'll see the impact of that in 20 years when that all is perfected. It's people say, "Oh, okay, now we're ready to take it to the commercial space." So we will see that. So that part of it is, yeah, you're right. That makes it a reason to watch the space kind of thing, right? So
Most
yeah,
definitely.
yeah, okay. Well, I hope you make it.
Well, I hope I do too.
Oh, it'd be nice to be able to have somebody to pal around with. We could also go and check out, see if we could sneak into any of the music things.
Not That's not the tea. We're not spilling tea on us.
Oh, sorry. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to go check it out. But yeah, we should check with the other field day people what they're doing and make a plan. I know I'm going to Cowboy Breakfast next Friday.
Oh, nice.
We'll see if I get up. If I get up in time. Anyways. Well, I think we are going to end early because got to go get ready to see if Rob is going to make it. I don't think he
You
is.
think Rob's gonna make it?
No, I don't.
I don't either.
He blew it last week. He got too excited.
Sometimes it's best to go out on your own.
I don't think he's going to
You
go out.
recruited the wrong person, wrong guy.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
But we want to thank you guys for joining yet another Tech Aunties episode. We're glad that you joined us. Please let us know what you thought of the AI Infrastructure Field Day. We hope you watched it. We'll make sure all those links are in the description here so you can go check it out too. And we also want to know what would you guys like to talk about? Would you like to come on and talk with us? We'd love to hear about that too. You can just hit us up on LinkedIn or on Instagram, we'll see it and we'll respond to you. But until next time, that's all we got. See y'all later. Be cool.
See you later. See you in the
Peace.
comments.
Oh, see you in the comments. Okay.